Chip Roy, Congressman, good to have you on, my friend. I assume you watched Joe Biden come out and slur through a couple of words on the conflict, on the war. Why didn't he mention Iran? What do you suppose?
Well, look, I actually didn't get a chance to see whatever he was saying because I've been like my preceding guest, Matt Gaetz. We've been immersed in trying to figure out how we're going to move forward with the speaker, and I think we're making great progress there. And it's important that we do that we select a strong speaker so we can actually stand up and lead in the absence of leadership from this president, in the absence of leadership from the Democratic Party. Let's be very clear. There were babies whose heads were decapitated, slaughtered in a kibbutz in southern Israel. We've seen citizens, civilians pulled out of cars, just shot, and then put their bodies dragged through the streets, or dragged around on trucks while people were just glorifying in this unbelievably heinous behavior. And now you've got people in America who are gathering in some sort of celebration of Hamas, celebration of the Palestinians. I saw colleges putting out all these statements showing solidarity with the Palestinians or with Hamas and what they're doing to civilians in Israel. That's just absolutely astounding. So we got to have a very strong statement as Americans. I'm glad the president has said that we, quote, stand with Israel. But what good does that do you when you've been funding Iran, when you've been allowing them to make billions off of selling oil to China? When you've been allowing them to make money selling drones to Russia, when you've been allowing them to get rich by the money you send to them through the United Nations, which puts these crazy countries on the human rights, commissions. And this is absurd. We need a leader that'll stand up, and I hope we'll get a speaker in place in the next 24 to 48 hours to stand up.
Congressman, what do you say to your colleagues, Ilhan Omar, AOC, and specifically Rashid Tlaib, who said that it's our fault for funding Israel, and she called it an apartheid state, blaming Israel for their own 1,000 people dying?
Yeah, well, it's patently absurd. Israel is a strong democracy in the Middle East. They've been working through our efforts and through the previous administration's efforts. President Trump deserves a great deal of credit with the Abraham Accords and what we were doing in opening up lines of communication, flights to Saudi Arabia, the things that were moving forward to have actual peace in the Middle East. You've got a democracy in Israel where you've got significant amount of Arabs, Muslim population that live in peace, live in a country that is, growing economically, providing opportunity. That's the direction we want to head. This is all a bunch of, political efforts by people here in this country to try to prop up terrorism and ignore their own culpability. I want to be very clear about my Democrats' culpability in this. They're the ones that are funding Iran. They're the ones that are funding the Palestinians to the United Nations. They're the ones that are funding terrorist groups that did exactly what we just saw unfold on TV, where civilians are getting targeted by terrorists. Israel has every right to use every force needed to repel what just happened to them. Indeed. We should fully support them without condition.